Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Max and Juan cast. Max, we back in the dungeon. It's draft season. What we doing today?
The big boys, the offensive linemen, all of them.
We do it.
It's a little weird. It's not like, usually it's every position group. This one we kind of just jumbled them up because I think it's the least interesting one.
Yeah, we always tell you
it's not a sexy thing. It's not sexy.
And this year, this is the year that we've had probably the most access to film. Last year we got on it kind of late. We had it, but I feel like now we've had it for a long period. And we're like, hey, let's do tackles and guards. Let's make 2 lists. And we kind of looked at the class and we're like, man, there's a lot of fucking tackles that might be just guards.
And I will say, it's not just this position group. We were talking about this. 2025 NFL draft is the year of the undersized athlete, undersized whatever at what position, right?
Yeah.
It's Cam Ward, it's Shador Sanders, it's Ashton Genty. It's just small guys. Even the edge rushers, you're not like, damn, that guy's like a Greek god. He's 6'5", 280 pounds. He can just move. This is what this class is. And I think this is the class that it is the most prominent, and it's undersized everywhere.
Yeah, 100%. Look, if you guys are new to this series, if this is your first time clicking on the channel, first of all, thank you. Appreciate it.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, shout out to you. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Helps out tremendously, bro. It gets our podcast out there, gets the word out there.
Yeah, it lets Juan get more hats. He keeps all the YouTube money. I haven't seen $1.
It's
just sitting there.
It's just sitting there, bro. We have it in the joint account. It's just
that neither of us has the access to. It's just rainy day.
Exactly. But look, help out our little YouTube channel, man. We're trying to grow as much as possible. We appreciate you guys rocking with us. And comment down below any thoughts, opinions that you guys have, whether it's about our equipment, whether it's about our quality, something that's
whether it's about me being right and Juan being wrong.
Exactly.
Like, come on, guys. We're trying to grow. We took the rhino pill. We're growers around here. Let's get into it.
Thank God YouTube doesn't have an actual person checking the monetization of these videos.
Why would that? That's not a bad word. You could say the F word.
You can.
It's a pill for men who are just struggling.
They are struggling. You know what? My bad.
Yeah. Why do you think Juan's mic's thing
blue? Maybe when we get a little bit bigger and we get some sponsors,
oh my God,
we can do the
just for hymns or whatever.
Yeah, the hymns.
Yeah.
I think it's the hymns or something like that.
They say that. What's wrong with the rhino pill?
Blue Chew. No, Blue Chew.
Oh, Blue Chew.
That's the
or
one.
the Mahar. Make America Hard Again. This is fun stuff.
All right, but look, today we're doing big boys. We're doing offensive linemen. Like Max said, he kind of alluded to it. We have a top 5 list of just overall linemen in here. It's not separated by guards.
We will explain how we did our list. But I'm sure someone will look at it and be like, "That's the worst list I've ever seen."
Yeah. Look, these are not all tackles. These are not all guards. They're just linemen. Okay, we'll get into it right now. As always, Max, let's start off with our list. Okay. My top 5 linemen.
Make sure you tell us how you did it too. Just if there's like things you did, like, because I did mine a certain way. So just tell me. Explain.
Okay. So I did mine just overall. Just
you took no position, like you didn't put tackles higher than guards.
No, I just did best linemen.
Okay,
that's it. Number 1, Will Campbell. Number 2, Jonah.
I honestly didn't even put him just so I wouldn't have to read his name.
Jonah S. Jonah S. Savailinaea. I don't know. Number 3, Greg Zabel. 4, Armand
Membou. I feel like Jonah got you just ruined all the other names for you.
Oh my goodness. And then number 5, finally a regular one, Josh Simmons from Ohio State. So just a little clarification. Campbell, he's coming out as a tackle. I think he's a guard. We'll get into that. Jonah, he's a guard. Gray, Zabel, guard. Membou, tackle. Josh Simmons, tackle. Okay. Max, we have your list up. Please give the audience.
Yeah, my explanation. Yes. So, guys, I went with, Will Campbell and Tyler Booker and Membou have the same grade, all 80s. I think tackles are more valuable than guards. And I know people are going to say, well, guards matter than interior pressure. Yes, they do. But one, it seems like every year teams are out for what? The franchise left tackle.
Yes.
So with that being said, number 1, Josh Simmons. 2, Kelvin Banks. 3, Armand Membou. 4, Tyler Booker. 5, Will Campbell. Just off enunciation, I feel like I have the edge right now with 1. As you know. But so the top 3 guys to me are all franchise left tackles, or guys who are going to play tackle in the NFL. Could you kick Kelvin Banks out to guard? Yeah. Could you kick in Membou to guard? Sure. But to me, these are guys who I believe at the next level can play tackle.
Yeah.
And then Tyler Booker and Will Campbell, these are guards. Will Campbell can't play tackle. Just like Cooper DeJean couldn't play man. I was wrong about one. I'm not wrong about this one.
I just want to reiterate this too, because I know Max has some guys that weren't on my list. I have grades for them as well. And I just want to clarify this one more time. I graded my guys off what I think their position is, as far as like, I just think Greg Zabel, even though I know that guard is not as valuable as a tackle, I just feel like he's better at his position than the other guy is. I just want to clarify that.
And I will say this. I think Josh Simmons and Kelvin Banks were the 2 best linemen I evaluated moving forward. And look, Will Campbell, to me, if you say this guy can play tackle, incorrect. I think it's a great place to start.
Yeah.
This is the most hot topic. One of the hot topics of the draft is Patriots of 4 take Will Campbell. And after watching the tape, there's just no way. This is what me and Juan both. I watched him before Juan. And what I was led to believe about Will Campbell is he's Trent, forget about the
surefire
measurable
top 10 pick.
Yeah, he's just like, he's the next left tackle. He's the next franchise guy. I started off with just the regular old SEC game, and I was like, well, it's pretty good. I watched Texas A&M. I went back last year to Florida State. Jared Verse whooped this dude's ass. And he made this big thing at the combine about how, arm length doesn't matter. Arm length doesn't matter. There's no rep I lost because of arm length. It was worrisome, guys. It was worrisome. And the reason I don't have him at number 1 guard is because for me, the most important thing for a guard is anchor and size. He doesn't have that if he's going to go inside. You can say this one. Tyler Booker, that's a guard. That's a big 6'5", 330-pound monster who doesn't get pushed around. Will Campbell got pushed around at tackle. And that's what worries me. You're not big enough and athletic enough to play tackle. We're going to kick you into guard, but your skill set doesn't translate to what I like in a guard. If you're the San Francisco 49ers and want a guy who can move, who's got sweet feet, by all means, go for it. But if you want guys like Landon Dickerson, like I like, who just are big, can't be moved, monsters, this isn't your guy. And that's why he's not my guy. There's plenty of stuff to like one. He faced the best of the best. And, there were times he held his own, but he's really good at figuring out stunts and games up front. He's well-schooled. He's got good feet, has bend. But I don't see great power. I see guys getting him to his body. I see him oversetting like crazy because he's worried about that quick twitch. And with the anchor thing one, I think that problem gets magnified when he plays guard.
Yeah, look, Will Campbell was an interesting watch. Max kept on telling me to watch him. I watched him, and
sorry, by the way, I was just like,
I was underwhelmed. I was very underwhelmed, and my first thought was,
you thought it was Penei Sewell, right? It was going to be Penei Sewell. That's what you were
from what we've been receiving. Yes, we're talking about the Patriots taking this guy out,
and it goes back to last year saying, "Oh, Jane Daniel, that left tackle is going to the NFL."
Yeah,
which he absolutely is a first round pick.
Yeah, and I came away with this. Is there great moments? Yes, I do think he's a technician when it's on.
Good hands, can mirror. Yeah.
Yes, he can mirror. He can really use his hands very, very good. When his kick set is right and the defensive lineman doesn't get that initial push and that initial win, he's gonna win his rep. But when you talk about the arm length, it can be something that can make or break you in a way that I think this goes for any prospect, like any single one. A guy can have a low measurable in certain ways, whether it's its hands, his height, his weight, arm length, whatever it is, 40 yard. the tape will tell you whether that's an issue or not. And to me, what the tape told me is the arm length is a problem. I've seen guys where they have low arm length or they have a slow 40 time, and I'm like, don't give a fuck. That doesn't matter. He still does his job. He is still good at it. He's going to be just fine. I did not feel that way with Will Campbell. It's an issue. He has to be nearly perfect on every single rep because of that. He just has to have a great kickstart, and he has to overcompensate certain reps.
And why it's important is for guys like Jordan Mailata, who are just this bigger than life human being. Oh crap, I might have gave up the edge, but you know what I can do with my big long arms? Push them. And like you said, Will Campbell has to be perfect.
No.
And so when you're not perfect, what happens? Bad.
And to me, a lot of the competition that he faced, and I think the greatest one to look at is, like Max said, against Florida State last year. We're talking about a guy in Jared Verse who won Defensive Rookie of the Year. He dominated in the NFL. He was an NFL prospect. He's an NFL guy. He has talent. So that's probably the best guy that he has faced as far as we know that we can bank on and be like, no, this guy is the real deal. He struggled.
Yeah, major.
Did he win some reps? Yeah, but most of the time, 80% of the time, Max, I would say, Jared Verse got him with a speed rush every single time. And what happens with offensive tackles when they get beat by a speed rush, most of the time, it's because of their arm length. That's just the reality of it. Because you need long arms to keep them off of you, to get into your chest. And Will Campbell, to me, he's a guard. He is a guard. Does that mean he's a bad player? Fuck no. He reminds me.
No, it's not.
It brings me to my comp to him. It's Peter Skoronski, a guy who I loved coming out of the draft. But I acknowledge that, yeah, did he play tackle his whole career in college? Yeah, but that's in college. In the NFL, can he, in a tough situation in the NFL, which happens a lot where guys get hurt constantly, and he can fill in that tackle like a Joe Thuney?
Joe Thuney, exactly.
Can he do it? Yes, but can he do it at an all-pro, high-level,
do you
top
take
10
this
pick?
guy at 4 knowing
No,
he's not going to be
absolutely not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where I was so confused by this guy. And I want to say one thing off the speed. Once he started getting beat with speed, Jared Verse turned on the power and the violent hands. And this is what worries me. The anchor isn't there. There were times, where I know you saw on film, he's getting thrown into the quarterback. Like he's on the track to get thrown into the quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, this guy reminded me of Jonah Williams from Alabama. He's a guy who's playing tackle, but should probably be inside. Hey, if you take this guy 15 to 30, you have a hell of a player.
Yeah.
4? No. 10? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch this guy in the top 10 based off value as far as are you taking him as a tackle or a guard? And if you're taking him as a guard, fuck no. I don't care if he is the best guard. There's only been one guy. And that's what?
Quentin Nelson.
Quinn Nelson.
But
I don't think he's Quinn Nelson.
But he's not. This is where I go back to Tyler Booker. Because when I think of a guard, Tyler Booker has less question marks. And that's why I put him at 5 rather than 4. Because, one, you're learning a new position. He's been a left tackle. He's been healthy. He's been good. But to learn a new position, and like I said, Tyler Booker is a guard. He's big, like powerful. Will Campbell's not powerful. He kind of absorbs more than he dishes out. And that's why I have him at 5.
Yeah, I simply put, I still think he's a phenomenal player. I still think he's the best lineman in this draft because I compare him to other guys. And other guys in this class, I don't see anyone that's ahead of him as far as the whole package. A lot of these guys, they have low arm length, or they don't have enough power, or they're just simply good guards.
Remember what I told you about Membou? They were like, this guy's super lengthy. I'm like, he's got 50 percentile arms.
Yeah.
They talking like he's a Marius Mims, with 37-inch arms. It's not.
Once we get deeper into this, I do feel like there's one guy who can be an all-pro guard based off his measurables. It's only one guy. We'll talk about him later. But as far as it goes from my list, because you guys may be saying, you have him at 1, and you're talking about him like if he's trash. He's not. Max feels a little bit different as far as the value to him.
Yeah, no, I think what we're mostly talking crap about is the narrative that this guy's a franchise left tackle and he should be picked at 4. Yeah, I have him as my 5th guy. He's a first-round pick, like I said, 15 to 30, somewhere in there. Yeah. 15 to 25, whatever you want to say. But for my money, if I'm drafting an offensive lineman high, he better be a transcendent guard like a Quentin Nelson
Yes.
or a tackle.
And I think if a team does pick him at tackle, Max, I have confidence that you're going to see pretty early in training camp when he struggles. I think it's going to be pretty obvious. Prove me wrong. You know, if he goes
that
out
game
there,
against Shared Verse is going to be pretty much every other game in the NFL against the guys who are rushing.
and if he does good in the NFL and he plays tackle and he winds up becoming an All-Pro, I'll eat crow for it.
Yeah,
but
my bad.
As far as what I've seen on the tape and what Max has seen on the tape says different. The tape says that he struggles and the arm length is an issue. I think he can be a Pro Bowl to a capable All-Pro guard in the NFL. I think he's that talented and he's a very smart player. He knows his checks. He did a lot of the checks at the line. You can tell that he knew protections. So he's a high level, high IQ guy. He seems like a high character guy as far as the stuff that I've read on him.
Yeah, he played every game.
Yeah, and he's tough as nails. So we'll see what happens. I just know if the Raiders pick him, if the Patriots pick him, it's a mistake. I'm going to grade it very bad because you should not take this guy in the top 10 if you're going to pick him with even a inkling of a question mark if he can play tackle. That's the facts of it.
Yeah.
Already showed our grades, Max. You said where you would take him. I said where I would take him. Let's move on to some other guys, okay? Let's talk about Membou because we both have him on our list, correct?
Yeah, I have him at 3.
Okay, so you have him at 3. I have him at 2. Let me go to the film on Membou. Okay, Membou, 6'4", 332 pounds, 33.5 inch arms out of Mizzou. What'd you see on film from Membou?
You know, I heard all these things about him, and you know, some of it was a letdown, some of it was kind of what I saw. I saw a guy, you know, great frame. I think he's a better pass blocker than a run blocker. And I know a lot of people are like, I love him as a run blocker. I don't see it. I didn't see like a guy like Latham who just wants to kill you every time. He's got good power, can deliver punishment, and there are flashes of that run blocking. There are flashes, but it's far too in between and stuff. Good body control. He does this thing where he can recover once he's beat. And as a run blocker, again, going back to that, he'll kind of just get in your way, push you along. There is one big thing that I wrote in my notes. It's called the lean back, do the rock away. He's leaning all the time. He just leans like crazy. And that scared me. That really scared me. And that's why I have him at 3. He's a good player, right? I don't think there's one thing he does elite. You're not like, damn, he mirrors great. You know, he's like a raw ball of clay that a coach is going to love to get his hands on and kind of just transform him. But again, he's not the most traitsy guy in the world. He ran a good 40. He's a good athlete.
He's a great athlete.
I did like his anchor. I did like that a lot. He can swallow up bull rushers. But I will say this. He had a rough game against Texas A&M. I thought it was rough.
Yeah. And I feel like this whole notion that he's a finisher and he's nasty and he dominates guys, I completely disagree. Look, I look back at the film against Boston College against a guy in Easy that you really like. I can't say his fucking name.
Izaraku.
Yeah, Izaraku.
Ezraku, maybe. One of them. Go.
He's small. That guy's small. And if you're being talked about like that, you should have at least one play that you dominate that guy.
Yeah.
He did not dominate him once. He was pushing him back. So to me, his strength wasn't that impressive. He lacks the ability to finish. He has a great burst, explosion out of his stance. Great athlete, like you said, great feet, especially for his size. But anything to do with strength, he struggles. His anchor is below standards to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't.
I didn't feel that way. I look back. I come back to that Easy game against Boston College. That's a guy that you should be able to not look like that. And when you're facing a guy like that, that's that light, you should push his ass around. And I didn't see that in the film. Now, if Easy winds up being a all-pro edge rusher, then okay, I get it. But I didn't rank that guy that high. I seen him get dominated by other tackles in college football. And they were a lot worse than Membou and had a lot less draft stock than
What did you think of his lunging? You saw it on tape. I'm getting like he just leans and then the guys just rip him, and that's what I saw a lot in the run game. And I was like, what is that?
To me, he's a guard. I don't see him as a tackle.
Really?
I think he's another guy to me that should be at guard.
Maybe for this class, he's a tackle. Maybe. I mean, I think he can do it. He's got decent enough length to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So does he have the potential to do it? Yes. Could he be a good guard? I think you could kick him inside, but to my money, I think this guy, if you in this class, he's a tackle. Unfortunately, that's what we kind of have to go on. But I think there's a big gap between Banks and Simmons on my list and him.
Yeah.
Those are my top two guys.
Let's go to the grades for Membou. For me, I have him as a first rounder still, 79.5 max.
I have him 80 at an 80.
Yeah.
Rounds 1 to 2, 30 to 45 I put, or 25 to 35. Look, he'll go probably much sooner because obviously there's a need of tackles. We know this.
Correct.
But if he's there at the Chiefs at 31, take him and run to the bank. I'm happy.
Yeah, let's finish off the tackles as far as the guys on our list, and then we'll get into some of the guards. All right, Max, let's get into the last tackle on my list. Let's talk about Josh Simmons a little bit. Out of Ohio State, he's your number one guy as far as offensive linemen go. 6'5", 317 pounds, 33-inch arms. Max, what'd you see from Simmons on tape?
I saw good size, great athleticism. I really like the way he's able to pop out of his stance. He's quick, he's sudden. More than the other guys, I thought he was the one who attacked the rusher in a sense. Like he ambushed them. He got out to punch. He can really recover. When he's beat outside, most of the time he just pushes the guy outside. He just pushes him wide. Good play strength. On run plays, I saw a little bit of nastiness. Nobody in this draft was like Penei Sewell, where I was like, God, he just wants to kill you all the time. Good play strength, good anchor, good mover in space. They run a lot of screens.
I think he's really good in space. I put great feet. I like his kickstart. I really like his depth on it. I would like more aggression out of him when it comes to the run game.
And there are a lot of penalties, 25 over 3 years. He lacks like elite length. It's good length. It's nothing special, but I think he's someone who could have really benefited from playing more. He tore his ACL, so he's been out. But I saw he leaned on defenders, and we didn't really get to see him against anybody worthwhile. I would have loved to see him.
Well, the other issue is he got hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
He lost out on this season, so there wasn't a lot of tape for him this year.
Exactly.
And I feel like you're onto something as far as like if this guy played the whole year, I think it would be more of a talking point for putting him as the number one tackle.
This list specifically, the lineman was the biggest projection, I think, and you really have to project them.
Yeah,
to me, he's going to be a great run. I don't think he's ever going to be this monster run blocking like demon, but he's going to be a really good tackle against the pass, like a Charles Cross or Russell Okung. That's who I have him comp to.
Yeah, and he has the decent length. He has the 33-inch arms. Yeah. We're saying that as decent, I think, when it comes to this class.
But I will say this. Nobody in my tackle should go before 15, realistically. Will they? Absolutely, because the need is too great. These guys will get overdrafted.
Yeah. I love his arms. I love his anchor. And then at the end of the day, I feel like Josh Simmons looks the build of a tackle, just body frame wise.
Yeah.
More than a lot of guys in this class, especially Will Campbell and Membou. Membou's 332 pounds. Like that screams a little bit more guard to me. Especially like with his arms, his play style.
Yeah, and Mbou's not like 6'7", like monster, like Amarius
6'4".
Mims. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
And I feel like Josh Simmons, he has that prototypical 6'5", 317 pounds. He reminds me of Christian Darrisaw.
That's a good one. That.
And Christian Darrisaw, it was a misevaluation on our part. We did not like him coming out.
We've never been wrong. But go ahead.
We did not like Christian Darrisaw coming out.
We didn't?
We did not.
Really?
No.
Oh.
No.
That makes me sad.
Yeah, it does. But it's because of the arm length, So this is a class where every guy you can arguably compare him to Christian Darrisaw or
Skoronsky.
The other guy, Rashawn Slater. Guys who have
wrong about that.
Yeah,
one,
guys who have short arm lengths and guys who have success in the NFL. I would love him to go to the Rams. I think this guy will fit perfect with the Rams. I like Josh Simmons. I have him as a late first round pick. All the guys that we've talked about so far.
Yeah, like this is my number one tackle. And in years past, number one tackle means what one? Top 5 pick, top 8 pick. This is 15 to 25.
Yeah, mine's late in the first.
And again, he's not getting drafted at 15. He's going way before. Whatever tackle gets drafted is going to. So where's Will Campbell for you? What's his range?
For me personally,
Yeah,
11 to 15.
You know he's not going to make it to 11. One of these guys won't make it to wherever we think they will.
Yeah. As far as Max goes, like he said, he has him as an 84.5 mid first round pick. He really likes Josh Simmons. He has him at number 1. We'll see how that pans out. I like that pick for Max. I like betting on the pedigree of him and, taking the injury concerns into account. He probably would have been a top 2 tackle, like no fucking brainer this year if he played the whole year.
Mm-hmm. All
right. Let's get into another tackle on your list. Let's talk
This is the
about
last
him.
one. This is my number 2 guy, Kelvin Banks from Texas.
All right. Kelvin Banks, 6'5", 350 pounds out of Texas.
Really loved his size and frame. He's a big boy. 6'5", 315 pounds. Got a good wingspan. He's battle tested. He's been facing everybody in the SEC for the last 2 years. Pops out of his stance, will punish people. He loves to you want to trick him with an inside move, he'll just match it. Boom. Never saw him got beat inside. Pass rushers though, they can kind of see where he's gonna go. Like they'll figure out his punch. He's not a guy who's great in space to me. He's not a flexible guy. He can lean. And the one thing that worried me was the speed rush. Sometimes could be his kryptonite in a sense. Other than that, there wasn't really much to me. This guy, again, I think he's going to be a good left tackle in the NFL. I think when we made the graphic, guys, sorry, it was my fault.
Yeah, I was looking at the graphic. We did this shit
before we had a lot of this crap in.
Yeah, the combine
we can't
official.
just do it. We didn't do it 2 minutes before this episode. I wish.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, stuff that I seen out of Kelvin Banks, I have him as my number 4 tackle in the class. He's behind Simmons, Membou, and Campbell. Has great feet, great athleticism. He can move. Plays with great leverage, great angle blocker. I love him on angle blocks. I feel like he's going to do great in a zone scheme. At the end of the day,
did you watch the Ohio State game versus JTT?
Yes,
I think that made me kind of fall in love with him.
At the end of the day, though, Max, I honestly feel like he's a guard. I feel like he can play guard.
You're a hater on the front line, but go ahead.
I mean, look, I know you're trying desperately.
Could he play guard? Yes.
Is he going to be a better guard than a tackle? Shut the fuck up. Exactly. I know you're trying to find a tackle. I know you're trying to talk yourself into it. Don't get fired. Don't get fired. I'm not trying to get fired.
I wouldn't draft an offensive lineman from this class at all. Let me put it like that.
That's what look, every time I was watching these guys, Max, I'm just like, fuck, he's going to be a good guard if you put him in that guard, though.
My comp for this guy was Christian Darrisaw / Dwayne Brown. Again, this guy.
I have Elijah Vera Tucker.
That's
a guy who was a guard who you in college you were like, he can play tackle though.
He plays right tackle, but he's a better guard.
He's a better guard.
He's 20 to 30. This is a good player. It is a good
player. I have him as I have a first round grade on him. I have him anywhere 25 to 35.
Bro, last year I think every tackle we looked at was just super like lengthy, and these guys are all like stubby.
Yeah, I mean that's the facts of it.
Like, even I think Olu Fashanu, like I'm trying. Oh yeah, his name's not Olu, but like everybody last year, like Olu Fashanu, 34-inch arms, and that was short for that class.
Yeah, a lot of guys in here, man. But look, as far as tackles go, that's where my first round grades stop. We'll get into some more tackles a little bit later. I want to talk about some guards that we have on our list, okay?
Can we talk about Tyler Booker? I cannot believe you didn't love this guy.
I did.
I did not. He didn't make it.
He didn't make it, but that doesn't mean I didn't like him, Max. Tyler Booker, 6'5", 352.
What'd you see?
Let me tell you something. Your prototypical guard size and frame, plays like he's in a phone booth. He lacks the athleticism, though. I really don't think he can pull in space. Like, you can see it. He's kind of just lumbering out there when he tries to move.
That's what I liked about him.
Yeah, he's smooth when it comes to stunts and twists. I love the way he picks up those guys. He has, like, his eyes are great. Yeah. They're fantastic.
Well, he understands leverage. This guy really does. And everything you said, I agree. It's not a great athlete. Like, you're not gonna go pull and go get this guy at the next level. That's not really him. But if you're the Eagles, you love this guy. If you're a team that likes big guards that just don't really get beat, who can just maul in the run game, like he can run block. He can run block.
Yes.
This, to me, was Osiris Torrance 2.0.
I have the same thing.
Do you really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it just rang bells to him. Like a guy that the best representation of Tyler Booker is he plays like he's in a phone booth. That's the best thing I can say about him. And I have him right outside the first round. That's just me personally. I can easily see him going in the first round.
I have this guy 15 to 25 in terms of top 10, maybe 20 to 30.
I don't think he's the best guard in this class. That's my
problem.
I do. That's my only thing with Tyler Booker.
So who do you think is the best guard? Jonah?
I think Jonah is
or
the best.
Are all these guys guards? So Will Campbell's technically the best guard?
Technically.
Okay.
But as far as guards, as far as guys who play guard in college and who are registering in the draft as a pure guard, I have him as number 3. The guys that I have in front of him are Donovan Jackson, Gray Zabel, and Jonah from Arizona. It's really close though. I'm going to show.
Have we covered everybody on your top 5 list?
Not yet.
Who's the only guy we have?
We need Jonah and Gray Zabel. But let's show the grades for Tyler Booker, just to show you guys a representation of. I have these guys super close. It's not that far off. My grade for Tyler Booker is a 78. He's a late first round to a early second.
Yeah.
Like I would pick him anywhere in that range. For Max, he's his best guard, so he has him as an 80 mid-late first round pick.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into my number 1.
I want to hear about Jonah. I really want to hear about him because I really liked him.
Dude, Jonah, I fell in love with him, bro. Jonah, to me, he is going to dominate.
He might have the only nasty in the class. Like the true
Gray Zabel's up there. Both of them.
Man, the Hawaiian / Islander guys love to be nasty. Like, you ever seen one of those guys not play like nasty?
Never.
Like, exactly.
Yeah. To me, he was so fun to watch. He's valuable for a team though, man. He played a little bit of right tackle and left tackle. I don't love him as a tackle, obviously. His number 1 duty and place in the NFL is a guard, but I do think he has enough nimbleness and like athleticism to play some tackle.
He has 33 and 7/8 arms.
Yeah.
40-yard dash was 4.95, 94th percentile. Everything else was pretty high. Like,
I mean, he's just huge. He has a huge, wide body.
Hold on. You really think he weighs 324 when he's playing at Arizona? That he looked bigger.
He looked bigger.
Yeah.
His feet are huge. His body's huge. His frame is ridiculous. He was put on this earth to play guard. He's a violent guy. I love when he gets to the second level. He's one of those guys, when he gets to the second level, he punishes guys. I love him, dude. And I see him.
If he could just be there at pick 32, I'd be like, run it up.
I hope he doesn't, because I have a better fit.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
No, I think Detroit will love this guy.
Yeah, they get that little Islander.
Yes.
The whole right side of the line would be Islander.
Yes. I think he would fit so perfect with the Detroit culture.
I'm going to just go with New Orleans, put him next to Fuanga, and just let those guys maul.
And my comp to him, I don't know if you remember this guy. He's a Giant now, but he was a Raider. Jermaine Illuminor.
Yeah. Really?
Jermaine Illuminor is a guy who can kick ass. He's a big ass guard, but in the tough spots, when there's a lot of injuries on the offensive line during the NFL season, you can put him in at tackle if you need to.
I was going to say Tyler Smith.
I think he's too big.
No, but I'm saying Tyler Smith in terms that you can play guard, you can throw him out at tackle.
Yeah. I love Tyler Smith.
Icky.
No. Icky's too raw. And Icky's too raw.
No, but in terms of size and stuff. Oh, no, he's bigger than Icky.
Yeah, he's way bigger than Icky. I like Jermaine Illuminor's, same body type. That's why I compared it to him.
Big back.
For sure, big back. All right, for Jonah, I have him going in the... Let me bring up the grade for you guys. I have a mid-first round pick grade on him, 80.5. I really like this guy, dude. He's one of my gems out of the draft. I really do like him. For Max, he's a round 2 player.
It's 77, 35. Early round 2, not like, 60. This guy could be picked the top of day 2 to me.
Yes. All right.
And if he's in the first round, I get it. I get why you love him.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Gray Zabel, who we both fell in love with. Out of North Dakota State. Thank God for the All-22. Shout out to Caddy, bro. He had film for North Dakota State, and it was some great film out there, man. Plus, BMX also took a look at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, no, I kind of wanted to say how I fell in love with this guy. So I watched the game. I can't even remember the school I watched because it was just like...
Colorado?
No, I watched a different game. It wasn't like a smaller one of their stupid schools they play. But I was like, wow, this guy's kicking ass. And I was like, let me see what I can find on YouTube. I just want maybe went to the Senior Bowl. He kicked ass at the Senior Bowl. This was and there were some D tackles we were going to talk about later in the week. He just kicked ass. He kicked ass. The anchor is real, dude. The anchor is outstanding. This guy, I don't know if he'll go in the top first round because, there's a lot of questions about level of competition. Like even in Colorado, he's not playing a lot of defensive linemen.
Correct.
But there's a lot to like about this guy. Good athlete, mean. He reminded me a little bit of the Cody Mount, just because they went to the small schools.
Yeah.
Like this guy. Really like him.
To me, of course, we have the left tackle tape. I don't think he's going to play left tackle.
I think he's a guard.
Yeah. Strong lower body. Honestly, I see him as a great center just because of his great anchor and how low he can get. And I feel like he has, pause, but he has the legs and the ass to play center. The one thing that worries me about center that I think about is, I don't know. I've never interviewed him, and I don't know. Like, this is where it's speaking to the coaching staff.
Yeah, like how smart is he? How smart? Yeah.
Can he make checks?
Correct.
So, like, if you put him in with a rookie quarterback or a young quarterback that doesn't make checks at the line.
Yeah, I would say, honestly, tackle's the hardest position to play, but it might be hard to trust any rookie to be the starting center. Like, that's why we were so high on Grant Barton, during the year. It was just like, damn, you're making all these calls and stuff. I mean, it helped, like, it would be scary. It's like you have a rookie quarterback, a rookie center. It's like, oh, like at least you got Baker Mayfield who's been through it a lot. So
right. Yeah. So to me,
player.
if I wouldn't be surprised though, Max, if some team drafts this guy at center, but it has to be obviously with a veteran quarterback.
Yeah, you don't just go, oh, we have Caleb, and now here's our center.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. Like Caleb Williams, you cannot pair him up with that. Like you need a veteran quarterback that's been in the league, knows how to check down shit. But Greg Zabel, regardless, put him in at guard, put him in at tackle. He can play all over the line. And I'm gonna sound like a broken record, Max, but I've seen it hand like every year. I don't know how you feel about it because I feel like your offensive line for the most part is pretty healthy, but the Raiders' offensive line, someone gets hurt every single fucking game. And
it's the organization, guys. It's we get hurt too. We just got Dot. We got Tyler Steen in the background. Just
that's very true.
Now we got Kenyon.
That's very true. But I think every NFL team deals with it where you come down to like,
it's
guys are just like,
ask the Chiefs.
Yeah, you get guys that are like, hey, bro, Max, we need you to play tackle for like 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we're going against Myles Garrett this week.
Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, back weeks.
You're just like, oh.
So you need these guys that are versatile. You're not drafting them as that.
I want to build off what you're saying. That's what I kind of thought with Donovan Jackson. I know we're not going to spend a lot of time, but the first game I watched, I was like, wait. Is this guy playing tackle?
Mm-hmm. And that was, so let's talk about Donovan Jackson.
Well, did you show your grade for Gray?
No, I did not.
Show the grade. Sorry, I jumped ahead. I just wanted to.
So for Gray Zabel, I have an 80.5. I'm very high on him. I have him as a mid-first round pick. I would be shocked if he gets out of the first round.
This is why our mocks suck. Shit like this.
I will be absolutely
Juan's gonna
shocked.
Take this guy at 15 to some.
If you tell me we're basing it off of a real pick, that shit gonna be way wrong. Max, you have him in as a 77 grade.
Early round 2, 35 to 50. He will go earlier than people think.
But you were just shitting on me because I put him in the first round. What the fuck, Max? What the fuck?
He took Monty Rice. He took Malik Willis at 2.
Shout out to Malik.
Can we just each do our own mock? And I don't even want to be associated with you. And it's the JC draft mock. It's the MC mock.
Let's talk about Donovan Jackson now. Another guard that I really liked. I have a first round grade on Donovan Jackson. And it's due to the versatility, man. Like you said, he played left tackle this year. And,
I thought he did a great job against Amir Abdullah.
He did all right.
Abdul Carter. I thought he did a great job for not his position.
Very true.
So this was like, I was like, okay, so you're going against a guy who's going to be really good in the NFL. And I thought he held his own for a big chunk of that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, did he get beat? Yeah. But he's a guard. He's a guy in the phone booth. He's an ass kicker. Mm-hmm. Really liked what I saw out of him. I think this guy, 40 to 60 range, 76 was my grade for him. He's a solid player. any O-line would love to have this guy. Like you talk about the Raiders being hurt week in and week out. You could draft a guy like this in the second round.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's just going to bring up the value in this draft for guys like this. They're full of it. They're like the offensive lineman class is littered with guys who are like tackle guard. Where are we going to play him? Tackle guard. And you can look at it as a negative, like a guy like Will Campbell, but then you can also flip it. Again, it come into play where you draft these guys. But when you're going into the rounds of like 15, 20, 25, that's a good thing. You can have a guy that's versatile.
Yeah.
That's super helpful. So it can become a positive. As far as Donovan Jackson goes, though, I love him in a zone stretch scheme. I think he'll make magic with that. And I, of course, he's not a tackle. He's a guard. He's a tackle that can be, in a tight pinch.
Like a week or two.
Yes. Let's talk about our grades with Donovan Jackson. I have him as a 78, late first round pick. I have 76. A first round grade, and I like him more than Tyler Booker just because of the versatility of him. That was the deciding factor of putting him above Tyler Booker.
I had a 76. He's a round 2, maybe 40 to 60 type guy.
All right. So I want to talk about 2 more guys. Okay, really just 2.
Quick,
very quick. I want to talk about Charles Grant.
Okay.
If you guys were in this podcast listening to it in the beginning, you guys are this far. First of all, I appreciate you. Second of all, Charles Grant, I think if anyone has the best chance to be an all-pro left tackle, it's him. Day one, like he has elite tackle play. He's out of a small school.
It's guys. A joke.
It's William. He plays for William Mary.
It looks like that scene in The Blind Side where like Michael Orr is playing for the high school and he's just like pushing a guy into the bus. He's ridiculous. It's a joke. There's just no one. No one.
Yeah.
I think Snacks Harrison went to William Mary.
Honestly,
no, I think he did.
Yeah.
But this is just hard. It's a hard eval because it's like, how is what he does now going to project the NFL?
Well, that's really all the negatives that's on him. It's the small school. Like that's where it is, and he's a raw prospect. But what the NFL draft is based off of a lot is the upside of guys, and I feel like this guy, out of anyone in the draft for the offensive lineman, has the highest upside. He's gonna go late. You're gonna get him with some value. Me personally, I would take him in the early second. That's just because how much I love him. But I would not be surprised if he falls late in day 2. I would be shocked if he goes after day 2, if he's a day 3 guy, just because of the measurables. He's a giant, bro. He's 6'5", 311 pounds. He has 34 3/4 arm length. That's almost 35-inch arms.
Yeah.
So he has the length for it. He's a monster.
Honestly, I feel like he could be a steal of the draft. So could Arante Irsay from Minnesota. There's some things I don't like about him. His anchor is questionable. He kind of plays too high. The tape wasn't that great on him. But this is another guy. If you can get him in the second round, I'd almost rather do that than pick Will Campbell at 4.
Yeah. I love him in the run game, the Minnesota guy.
He's giant.
Yeah, great punches. I find it hard to play him at tackle, though.
He's almost too big to play.
Yeah.
The guard. He's like 6'6". How tall is he?
He's a weird guy. He's actually 6'6". He's big.
Yeah.
331.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah, so that lower...
And he doesn't have crazy length. He's 33-inch arms.
Yeah, so it's weird. I compared him to Talise Fuanga. That's the guy.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And then as far as Charles Grant goes, I had him comp to Broderick Jones.
Broderick Jones.
Sorry. Broderick.
I know. These names are just tough, man.
But that's going to do it, man. Look, the offensive lineman videos don't always do well for us. And if you guys have made it this long, first of all, we greatly appreciate it. You guys love football if you guys are this far into a lineman video.
You might want to seek help. No.
But there's a couple other guys that we did just to touch on them as far as like the Georgia guys. Jared Wilson, probably the best center in this draft, pure center.
Dylan Fairchild.
Yeah.
Who's the other one?
Josh.
Tate Ratledge. That's who I'm thinking.
Tate Ratledge. Josh Cornley. From Oregon. He was a guy. I had him comp to Andrew Wiley.
Cameron Williams.
Yeah.
Marcus Mabel. I didn't watch Lampkin. I wanted to watch a 5'11" guard go to work.
Another guy that I watch, Emory Jones, because I watched the Will Campbell
Yeah.
at right tackle. He's decent. I see him as a day 2 guy. There's a lot of guys that are day 2 guys, rounds 2 to 3, like early day 3 guys. I don't think I have a single dude that I scouted that was like a 7th round, 6th round pick where I turn on the film and I'm just like,
there's no way.
Yeah, like
yeah. Emory Jones was one of my lowest rated linemen, and I think he's a round 3 to 4 guy.
Exactly.
And it's not bad.
This we're gonna sound like a broken record with this statement. This draft class is deep. It's not top heavy. It's just a bunch of guys in the middle where it's just like 2nd round guy, 3rd round guy, 2nd round guy.
Yeah,
round guy.
I mean, I have all my positions except for safeties done, and it's just a bunch of like 15 to 25 type guys.
Yeah. All right, that's gonna do it. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, make sure to join us April 24th for the draft. Did I get that date right?
You did.
I did.
Yeah, my wife's birthday.
Shout out to Max's wife.
Cap, no, we're not celebrating her birthday. I don't care.
I hope she sees this. Anyway.
I told her face. I don't care.
Anyway, we will be live for the NFL draft. Probably about 15, 20 minutes before. We'll see if we can get our shit together and get on earlier.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, we'll see. I highly doubt it, but
Cap.
But make sure to join us for the NFL draft. Raw reactions, raw analysts, right when the pick is put in. So see what we think about it.
Before the picks put in. What do you mean? We're going to Twitter. We're going to snipe the picks.
Yeah, we'll snipe the picks. So join us, man. This is like the 4th year in a row that we're doing this. So we hope you guys are enjoying the content. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below any thoughts, opinions that you guys have about the offensive lineman. Until next time, we out. Peace.